This show is supported by you, our listener. Stick around until after the news to hear more about that. This is Cup of Go for Friday, April 10, 2026. Stay up to date with the important happenings in the Go community in about 20 minutes or so per week. I'm Jonathan Hall.
And I'm Patricio Whittingslow.
Patricio, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining today. Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to step up and take care of recording this show while Shai is off being a lazy butt or whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's skiing or hoping to be. So we've got an interesting show coming up for you today. We're basically going to be going through all the security fixes that were added in Go 1.26.2 and 1.25.9, which just came out earlier this week, I think on Tuesday. It's a big one. So there's a bunch of things to do. You definitely want to upgrade, and we're going to tell you why. Before we do that, though, we have a quick CFP to announce. GopherCon UK 2026 is coming up, and the CFP is open. This will be happening in London at the brewery. I think I'll buy my tickets right now. I like London and I like breweries. So what's to miss? And I like Go. Why wouldn't I go? Anyway, the CFP is open until April 17. The conference itself happens August 11th and 12th. So if you'd like to speak at GopherCon UK, the link is in the description. Go send in the CFP. I'll probably fill one out here too. Have you ever spoken at a conference, Patricio?
Yes, I have. In fact, I love speaking at Go conferences.
Cool.
Try to make one every year.
You think you'll make it to GopherCon UK?
I actually submitted a proposal for GopherCon UK. I'm still awaiting a response.
Of course. Nice. Awesome.
All right.
Well, I'll submit one too, and if we're lucky, we'll both be there at the same time presenting.
Yeah. All right, let's go. High hopes.
Otherwise, let's talk about the security release. I mentioned this is a big one. 10 individual CVEs have all been fixed. Why don't you tell us about the first one?
Oh, wow. Yeah. This one, big issues. First of all, we got a lot of stuff that has been fixed. So props to the people. Most of these or all of these have been found by peoples of the Go community. So good job there, peeps. And the first one is OS. Root chmod can follow symlinks out of root on Linux.
That sounds nasty.
That sounds like something you don't want
Yes.
to ever happen, because this is the OS root abstraction that was added 1 year ago, I believe, and it's basically supposed to like contain access to the file system, and this is such a case where the access is non-contained. The vulnerability exploits symlink following, and as so often happens with like this symlink following is a very common exploit in these sort of. So thank you, Ugan Bayar. I made a mistake. I tried saying this person's name, but I can't. So thank you for reporting this. Sorry about your name. Issue is 78293.
I suppose the thing is, like, you have to special case symlink following for every access path, I'm imagining. And that's why this one got missed. Because like the first thing I would think of when I'm building a root abstraction is symlinks. I have to fix symlinks. That's like the one thing you have to solve, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I imagine that this is a case where it has to be special cased in many different code paths, and they missed one. I'm also trying to imagine how you would exploit this. I suppose chmod isn't like the most destructive thing you could do, but I suppose you could like open, set the permissions on something you're not supposed to read to be readable. So that actually could be pretty serious, couldn't it?
Right. So you're not gonna be accessing. You're not gonna be. Yeah. This might be like an out of band attack, right? Like you edit something elsewhere, something you don't have access to, and maybe somehow you. Or maybe find a way to read it.
Or maybe you chmod etc sudoers to make it world editable.
Oh.
That could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's that's a scary one.
So yeah, this is serious. You should definitely go upgrade your Go version right now if you use this root thing. All right, next up, who would have guessed there's an HTML template bug. These never happen. So the issue here is with JS template literal context was incorrectly tracked. So basically, I don't know exactly how this would be exploited or even triggered, but the way HTML template tracks JavaScript literals, it was not doing it completely correctly, and it could lead to some incorrect escaping of stuff, which could potentially lead to cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. So probably a little bit less serious in general than Schmod, but you should also go upgrade anyway. So
that will be a common theme because there's
yes.
many. The next one is unbounded allocation when parsing old format GNU sparse map tar readers. So this is an archive tar package. Basically, you have an unbounded allocation, a potential unbounded allocation. It's an old format, which is affected. Still, you want to, if your service is exposed to user input, specifically tar reading, you want to upgrade as soon as possible because users are able to basically explode your memory usage by crafting I think these are called tar bombs. There's like a name for these.
Nice.
These kind of files that sort of use up all your resources.
I didn't realize that was a thing that tar supported. But it says old format, so maybe it's been deprecated, but of course you still have to support it. Interesting.
And it's been, so the thanks also goes out to this person whose name I will not pronounce. I'm so sorry, but and Jakub. I think that's how you say his name, right? Jakub.
I think you're right. Yeah, Jakub. Was it Choyek? Is that the one? Yeah,
yes,
I think so. I think I said it right this time.
All right. Yeah, that's issue 78301. In case you're interested.
And of course, we'll have a link to the full description here in the show notes, or you can find it on the Go Nuts mailing list, or the Go Announcements mailing list. Sorry. So next up is an actual compiler bug about some memory corruption. So previously, slices and arrays were accessed using induction variables, and it was sometimes incorrectly proved to be inbound when I guess it should have been out of bound, right? So if it made the wrong conclusion about whether this was inbound versus out of bound, it would do the wrong thing and result into memory corruption. So it doesn't specify whether this could ever actually produce incorrect Go programs, but I suspect the answer is it's undefined. Like once the compiler's memory is corrupted, kind of all bets are off. Probably more likely it would create invalid output or crash. But I suppose it's possible that in some cases it might produce the wrong output and you wouldn't notice.
Okay, so this would affect your compiled program, right?
I think the direct impact is on the compiler. So as you're running like Go build or Go run, the Go compiler itself has corrupted memory. It's not clear to me from the description here whether this could actually produce bad output. I don't know if it would do that, but I suppose the conclusion is it likely could in certain circumstances. So you should go upgrade.
Go upgrade. That sounds like a good idea.
There's a whole bunch more. We're not going to go through all of them. If we do this for everyone, you're going to be so tired of hearing us say go upgrade. But let's just breeze through some of the remainders here. There's a number of cryptographic related things. Crypto X509. DNS constraints not properly applied to wildcard domains. We've talked about similar bugs in the past, I think.
There's also the unexpected work during chain building, also in the X509 package, and inefficient policy validation. So validating certificate chains, which is unexpectedly inefficient.
There's also another compiler bug. No-op interface conversion could bypass overlap checking. So this, I think, would actually produce bad programs, or it might not do all the type checking or overlap checking it should. So you could accidentally produce a program that shouldn't compile. Like it should produce an error, but it compiles instead. Is how I'm reading this. So go upgrade.
Also, a TLS multiple key update handshake messages can cause connection to deadlock. Scary.
When I try to shake multiple hands at the same time, I tend to reach a deadlock as well. So I can understand.
All right. Yeah. The the overarching theme here is go upgrade your Go programs immediately.
Here's another one from the Go command: trust layer bypass when using CGO and Swig. I don't actually know what Swig is.
Isn't that like a generator for like bindings to other languages? Like you got like a library in another language?
Probably.
I think that's what that is.
So if you're using CGO, you want to upgrade. So yeah, I think the bottom line here is like some of these obviously won't affect everybody. Root Schmod won't affect me because I don't use Root. HTML template probably won't affect me because I don't use JavaScript in my templates very often, et cetera, et cetera. But the compiler ones, they're going to affect me. So basically everybody should upgrade. There's really very little reason that you would consider yourself an exclusion, I think, from this one. So yeah, go upgrade. What do you think? What's your advice, Pato?
I think, I've really thought about this one, and I think you should upgrade if you're using Go.
All right. Well, I'm going to go do that here in just a few minutes. But before I do, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to have a lightning round with some interesting topics before I go do my upgrade. Thanks everybody for listening. We love you. We're glad you're listening to our show, and we're glad we've had some great volunteers pop up here to help host while Shai is gone. I think we have one more week without him, if I'm remembering. I don't remember. It's going to be a surprise for me too who the host is next week, but stick around for that. So aside from hosting the show, there are other ways you can support the show. A great way is just to share the show with your friends and colleagues and students and pets and whatever else. All your pet gophers, make sure that they know about the show. You can also support us financially if you want to help pay for this expensive hobby by becoming a Patreon, and you can leave a rating and review. I'm going to just leave it quick and short like that. I suppose one other way you could help support me is I'm looking for new clients. So if you need somebody to help you with your Go project, reach out to me. I have a bunch of availability lately because I'm just ending a contract. So let's move on to the lightning round.
Lightning round.
All right, Pato, you came up with some great lightning round topics here. Why don't you take the first one?
Oh, yes. This great idea I came up with is actually a bit of I'm selling a library I've made, Elneto. So this is a user space networking stack. It's super lightweight, heapless, almost heapless, if we're going to be strict about the meaning of heapless. And you can use it to run networking on microcontrollers where you don't have an operating system like Linux, which does the networking for you.
Right.
Or if you're doing some networking heavy P2P stuff, like maybe Tailscale or NetBird is doing, you could use it to like replace gvisor in those places. So cool package I built over the last year and a half, and looking for more users and more experiences.
Very cool. The one I want to talk about, this isn't directly Go related, but it comes from someone we've had on the show and we've talked about on the show frequently who is a Go developer, Filippo Valsorda. He recently published a new blog post about quantum crypto. And you've read this too, right, Pato?
Yes. A pretty, how do you say, pretty striking message, if you ask me. There's basically, if I were to sum this up, it would be like the future for non-quantum cryptography looks bleak. And talking about near future, not 10 years from now.
Yeah, so the TLDR here, he says, in summary, it might be that in 10 years, the predictions will turn out to be wrong, but at this point, they might also be right, and that risk is now unacceptable. What risk? Basically, the idea that I think we're all at least vaguely familiar with the idea that quantum computing is a thing that's in early stages, but it's coming or almost certainly coming, and it could have serious impacts on cryptography. Like a quantum computer could potentially break today's strongest crypto algorithms very quickly. And he talks about two papers, one from Google, another one from Automatic, showing that they're able to basically break standard cryptography much more quickly than previously thought possible using using quantum computing. So the sort of doomsday scenario is probably much closer or potentially much closer than we previously thought in the worst case scenario. So this isn't like proven that this is going to destroy crypto in the next N number of years, but it looks like the worst case scenario is sooner than it might previously have been thought. Is that how you read it too?
Yeah. And the one takeaway I like Filippo gives is don't even bother with like hybrid authentication, like a classic plus post quantum. Just if you can, go straight for something pure quantum like ML DSA 44. I think that's like the nugget of wisdom Filippo's trying to get across.
Yeah. All right. We're not going to talk too much about that since it's supposed to be the lightning round, but the link in the show notes, and you could also subscribe to his blog and get these in your mailbox if that's interesting to you. One other one, this one I'm going to let you talk about it, but it's interesting to me too. Go ahead and tell us what this one is.
Oh yeah, Go can now run on ESP32 microcontrollers. So in case you're not familiar with the microcontroller embedded Go world, TinyGo is like a compiler, just like the Go compiler, that can compile to much smaller architectures, much smaller places. You can get like, instead of your typical 1 megabyte sized hello world binary, you can get like a couple kilobyte sized executable. So, and this allows us to also compile for microcontrollers where memory is very limited. And one of these microcontrollers is the ESP32. It's a Wi-Fi plus Bluetooth chip, which it's very cheap. That's why it's
like $5, right?
Yeah, something like that. And you basically power it with a very small like power source. It consumes basically no current draw, and so you can have like a web server for $5 running in your room, and yeah, it's cool for some people like me. I find this absolutely so much fun. And
I have a couple ESP32s that I haven't started using yet, but my intention is to set them up for some home automation tasks to integrate with Home Assistant.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah.
I don't know if ESP Home has any Go support yet or will, but
we welcome PRs that implement ESP Home. Maybe.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. How are you using Go on an ESP32, or is it just experimental at this point for you?
I mean, I'm not a fan of the ESP32s, even though everyone. Sorry, I'm getting away from the microphone just to show you something I have next to my desk. I got like my production server running. Let me unhook this so I can show it to you on camera.
Sorry for the listeners at home who won't be able to see this. I'll do my best to describe it with words. It looks like a PCB plugged into another PCB at a 90-degree angle with a USB cable sticking out of it. And an Ethernet cable on the other side. Yeah, okay.
So this is not an ESP32. That's a Raspberry Pi Pico.
Okay.
And this is my production server. It's running connected to the internet.
Okay.
Although right now I've redirected the port, so you won't be able to look at the website. Oh. And I'm running Elneto on that. And basically it has a networking stack, a whole server running. And it's got a little application which just lets you like send a message to it, and it's displayed to all the users who access the website.
Sort of a multicast. If 100 people are logged into the website, they all get the same message.
Yeah.
Clever. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pato, for joining us today and filling in for Shai. It's been fun meeting you and talking about a ton of security fixes. I think it's time for me to hang up and go upgrade.
Yeah. Did I say you should upgrade?
Thanks for the advice. We will talk to you next time. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, John.
Program exited.
Program exited. Goodbye.